It's Matt Simpson here from Forex.com, and today I'm looking at some technical setups for the British pound. Now, starting on the pound dollar daily chart, it's essentially been oscillating between 130 and 138 thereabouts for the past year. However, since April, that range has since narrowed, but we're still getting some pretty good swings within those levels. Now, if we zoom in, we can see that since that June 24th low, we've got this pretty decent movement higher, but momentum's turned lower after this bearish reversal candle, which is a shooting star candle. Notice how its high landed right between that monthly R1 pivot and this June 15th high, and prices are now back below the 200-day exponential moving average. Now, given we've got this 3-bar bearish reversal called an evening star, price is trying to retrace back towards that 200-day average, now wondering if we've seen the swing high and prices are going to try and move lower, at least to that monthly pivot point just below 133. And if you look at this rise, there's not a lot of obvious areas of potential support. So if we can break beneath that monthly pivot point, then I think the next likely level of support is back near these March and June lows, which are above the monthly S1 pivot at 131. Now, keeping in mind we do have US CPI in a few hours, and if we do get a hot print, it could reinforce bets of a Fed hike, and that could see pound dollar face further pressure. Now, euro pound is really interesting because we've got this decent breakout of the descending triangle, which, if successful, could see it fall down towards 8430. However, there is potential for some mean reversion over the near term. Notice how yesterday's bearish engulfing candle stopped perfectly at this swing low. You've also got this high volume node candle, which is taken from the most traded price during this part of this rally. Also note that daily RSI 2 was really heavily oversold for several days heading into this low, and prices now seem to be trying to mean revert higher. So maybe we could be looking at moving towards the 10 or 20 average or the monthly S1 pivot point. Now, whether that translates as a counter trend trade is up to the individual, but another way of looking at this is for bears might want to trade with caution at these lows. Now, whether that translates to a counter trend trade is down to the individual. Trend traders might, however, want to take caution at these levels, see if there is some mean reversion, and seek evidence of a swing high around such resistance levels, anticipating another leg lower. Now, pound yen is more of a cautionary tale for bulls than it is a signal for bears. It's been in a solid uptrend for nearly 2 years now, but there is signs that it wants to pull back over the near term. Notice that this small rickshaw man doji formed perfectly at the monthly R2 pivot, and this bearish reversal candle marks the third candle of a 3-bar reversal called an evening star formation. So it looks like mean reversion is underway. However, a bit like euro pound, I'm really looking for some mean reversion to peter out before trend continuation kicks in. So given we've got the solid uptrend overall, but the early stage of retracement, maybe we'll get a pullback towards these highs or the 20 average around 2115.60, or maybe up towards a pivot point. Either case, we could use some patience here and seek some evidence of a swing low before assuming bullish trend continuation. Now, pound Aussie is on my radar, but I don't think the timing is quite right at the moment. We do have an uptrend on the daily chart, but we've got a bearish divergence forming on the RSI 2 and the RSI 14. What's caught my eye though is if we get moving towards this March high where the monthly R1 pivot sits, because if you look at the weekly chart, we've got the 200-week moving average there around that March high. Also notice during this 3-week rally, each candle had a smaller bullish candle, and last week was a shooting star candle. It also just happens that the 200-day average is also sitting on that March high as well. So let's see if we get some reversal candles around there for a cheeky bit of mean reversion. As always, hope this is useful. Wish you best of luck with your trading.